Back in the Civil War, the Sharp's Berdan rifle was used by sharpshooters. It had a range of over 600 yards. It was called the Berdan rifle because it was commissioned by Colonel Harim Berdan because he wanted a longer-ranged rifle. While today, the Accuracy International AW-50 anti-material sniper rifle has a range of about 1,640 yards. That is almost a mile. That is just one improvement in the way of weapons between now and the Civil War. In the Civil War, there was a widely used weapon known as the Colt 1855 revolving carbine, which was essentially a lengthened revolver with a shoulder mount on the end. It came in .36, .44, and .56 caliber variants. The .36 and .44 caliber variants had a 6-bullet revolving chamber, while the .56 caliber had a 5-bullet revolving chamber. It had a drawback, though. People who used the Colt revolving carbine were advised to not hold the gun on the barrel because the revolving chamber would have gas from the barrel come in, which would prematurely shoot off the rounds that were not currently in the barrel, which would shoot the unlucky shooter's forward arm. The advised method of handling the weapon was to hold the gun behind the chamber, meaning you would hold it in a very awkward fashion. In addition to that, it weighed about 9.8 pounds. You could also choose to load only one bullet at a time into the gun, which defeats the purpose of having a 6-bullet chamber. Compare that to the Barrett REC7 Reliability Enhanced Carbine 2007 Assault Carbine, which is essentially the modern-day equivalent of the Colt revolving carbine. The Barrett REC7 is a semi-automatic weapon that can hold a 30-round clip. Semi-automatic means that it can reload itself, but not fire continuously. It is little over 6 pounds when empty, and about 25.5 inches in length. It also probably does not shoot off your fingers due to the bullets being in a clip, and metals and plastics have probably advanced to the point where that is no longer an issue. The range is about 2,000 feet, which means it has the same range as a Berdan rifle, if not less. Another weapon used in the Civil War was the Le Mans grapeshot revolver. This revolver was used by Confederate officers. This weapon is odd in the respect that you had to manufacture your own bullets. It also had a single-shot shotgun in addition to the 9-shot revolver. It had an effective range of 120 feet and weighed a little over 3 pounds when empty. The Beretta M9 2F pistol is the pistol which is the primary sidearm of the U.S. Army. It can hold 15 rounds and fire them up to a maximum range of 150.2 feet. It weighs about 2.5 pounds when loaded. Sure, it doesn't have a shotgun in it, but at least you have 6 more rounds to shoot. One weapon used in the Civil War that was quite groundbreaking was the Gatling gun, which was the first fully automatic weapon, meaning that all you had to do was turn a crank and a constant stream of bullets would fire. It was an artillery piece, meaning it was on wheels and couldn't be carried by hand. The Gatling gun is still around today in the form of the General Electric GAU-17/A minigun. It is a Gatling gun with only 6 barrels, but is powered by an electric motor, so cranking is not needed. Also, the style of ammunition feed is different. The Gatling gun had an upside-down magazine in which you would feed bullets. The minigun uses a chain filled with ammunition instead. It also comes in various designs dependent on the task at hand. Cannons were also used in the Civil War, and one such cannon was a Napoleon 12-pounder, named so after Napoleon III, and the basic ammunition used, which weighed 12 pounds. The 12-pounder was used by both sides, so the Confederates made lower-quality cannons due to the low quantity of supplies. The cannon fired many types of ammunition, such as regular solid balls of iron to shotgun-like shots. The modern equivalent could be said to be the M777 UFH lightweight towed artillery piece, which is a howitzer-like weapon. It is pictured in the background. It is a modern-day cannon with a range of about 15 miles when using normal ammunition, but when using rocket-assisted projectiles, it can fire up to 18.6 miles. It is currently used by various branches of the U.S. military. The weapon weighs about 9,300 pounds, unlike the Napoleon 12-pounder, which weighed about 3,585 pounds. In addition to the range and weight differences between the Civil War and now, the M777 uses software to help it aim and only needs a 5-man crew, while the Napoleon 12-pounder requires 7. With weapons, though, you must also have medicine to treat the wounded. In the Civil War, the germ theory was not used, so many would die of inflammation. In addition to that, the current theory for inflammation was that it was caused by agitation, so bloodletting was used to relax the person so the inflammation would die down. If the inflammation was inside, Doctors would use various substances to have the person empty his digestive tract. If you think that is gross, you haven't seen half of it. Doctors could empty your digestive tract from either end. Today, doctors are very careful about sterilization. Doctors use various methods of sterilization so that if the person who had surgery last had an infectious disease, the next person would not. One way of sterilizing the tools is to put them in pressurized steam for a certain amount of time. Another way current medicine differs from old is how to remove a bullet. In the Civil War, the way to remove a bullet was to investigate the wound to see if anything else might be in it. Second, the doctor would use a pair of forceps or a bullet scoop to remove the bullet. Next, the doctor would close the ruptured arteries by using catgut or silk/linen string by tying the artery before the point of damage. Closing the artery could lead to the breaking of others, so this was dangerous. Finally, the wound would be sewn shut in a very unhygienic manner. The surgeon would sometimes lick the thread to moisten it, and that could lead to infection. If only doctors would accept the crazy idea of washing your hands and instruments before every operation. Today, bullets are rarely removed at all, being that removal could cause more injury than letting it stay in. A bullet wound is generally treated with a bandage, some antisepsis, which is germ killer, and some antibiotics.